What's going on, guys? Today I am doing a top 10 budget deck profiles. Well, not deck profiles, but top 10 decks that, and I'll explain why, and what order, and what cards, and things like that. So let's start it off with my number one budget one right now, is pure Blue Eyes Maiden. You can buy 3 of these structure decks at your local Walmart and pick up a few traps that you probably already have, or get them off Amazon as singles, and you can play the deck and it'll be good. It won't be the best, but you can play around and you can win some games. It is a good deck, and I do recommend it because if you're getting back into the game and you don't want to put about $100+ into a deck, Blue Eyes Maiden deck all the way. Now another deck that's around the same uh, premise as cheapness, you just have to buy the cards singly, which is they're easy to get because they're all commons and rares. Except the ranked up ones, you don't really need those. You just need the 3 lead yoke and some other XYZs, is Battle and Boxers. Battle and Boxers are pretty good if you protect lead yoke with like Forbidden Dress, which Forbidden Dress is pretty cheap, or Lance, whatever you prefer. And if you just have a lot of back row and play all the Boxers, it is actually a really good deck for the budget. I'd say with a good traps and all the deck and the extra deck, it'd be about $60, and that might be even overshooting it. Because, like I said, you can get 3 of each of these cards probably for like $1.50, maybe a little bit more. But yeah, it should be about a $60 deck, and just get a lot of traps and you're good. You can play stupid stuff like Trap Hole, and that actually fucks up a lot of decks like Boojins. That messes them up. Going on, ZWs. ZWs aren't. This isn't ranked in best, as in the deck itself. This is ranked in as budget friendly. I put this as that tier. Um, ZWs, the cards itself to make a ZW deck is really easy to get your hold on, like Goblin Burr and stuff like that. The extra deck, I guess, could get expensive, but it's just a bunch of Utopias from the starter deck. I mean, it's just ranking up Utopia and making them strong. So I'd say it's pretty budget. And like it'd probably be another $50 or $60 deck, and it makes Utopia just unstoppable. Really good deck. 6 Sams. You can buy 3 of the structure deck off Amazon right now, and a few extra cards like Asceticism, and it's going to be about a $60 deck, plus card sleeves. The extra deck gets a little expensive, I guess. You're usually going to Shein, and it's another like $10 to $13 if you want Naturia Beast and some other Naturia cards, or Naturia, whatever you want to call them. And it is really good to have those with it. So this could stay here, or it could be down like here, depending on the extra deck you spend. But right there, I think is good. Maybe Fire King a little bit before that. I'll get to that. And yeah, 6 Sams. They took out Gateway completely now, but I feel like they're still pretty good. They can swarm quick. They're not the best now, but they are really good. Fire Kings. They got a whole lot better with Yakasha. Whole lot better. The only reason this is here is because the extra deck, which some people would be like, why are you playing extra deck in Fire Kings? You're supposed to keep using Gornox and Sacred Phoenix, I think her name is. But the 3 Akasha are like, I don't even know what price they are. They were 5 and they were 10. And for 3 of those, it's not much, but I'm saying if you buy the 3 structure decks, then you buy that. And then you do have to get an extra deck. Like, you have to get some rank 8s, and you got to get some rank 4s for rekindling plays with the Fire King, High Avatar, Yakasha, and Barong. So the extra deck can get expensive. So that's why it's kind of placed in the middle. It could be cheaper, it could be more too, but I feel like it's at that place is right. Fire Kings, though, are awesome. If your Fire King High Avatar gets banished, then you're kind of fucked. But it's a good deck, and it's budget, so it's a top tier. Master Hyperion for Agents. Agents are a good deck. Love Agents a lot. They're a little bit more expensive to make now because the structure deck's so expensive, but if you bought all the cards you need to make Agents individually, I think it'd be cheaper than buying all the structure decks, I'm pretty sure. Because Hyperion's been reprinted. How many times? Twice, I think. But yeah. Agents are good. You need some traps already on hand, and you do need some extra deck. But the extra deck that you would really need with it is relatively inexpensive. I mean, the only thing really is expensive nowadays that when you do go in for synchro plays with. Now, would be Black Rose, but Effect Veiler you usually want to play in it too. But if not, use a Breakthrough Skill. They're cheaper, I'm pretty sure, or maybe they're not. I think they're $7 or $8. I don't remember. I'm sorry for this misformed information, but agents, there are some extra decks, so I think it's placed well it is where it's at. Dark World, cheap deck, but not. Okay, because to get the Graphas and all your other cards, it's relatively cheap. But to get your Dark World dealings, your gateways, and your drag downs, it kind of gets expensive. Not expensive, but it's like gets to like $6 or $8 per one. That's off Amazon. If you go on eBay, I know you could get it for like $2 or $3 cheaper to get them as a playset. Also, the extra deck. Once again, I won't say it's super expensive, but I put it here because, like I said, you have to buy. If you bought all the structure decks, it'd be super expensive, and you still have to pay for your drag downs. And there's some other cards you want to maybe play, like Into the Void, or if you want to play more control heavy, play some traps. Reckless Greeds if you really want to go turbo with it. And I think it's right good where it's at tier wise. And Dark World's still really good deck. Nothing's really been hit for Dark World. You can still build a pretty good Dark World deck. I'm playing a Dark World deck because I'm too lazy to get the extra 2 cards and don't feel like spending the money. As I only played 2 Dark World dealings and 2 gateways, and I have 3 drag downs and a 3 upstart. And yeah, they can. It's awesome. It still rolls with only 2 of those, believe it or not. Also, with on that upstart goblin, it's not expensive. It's like another $4 per 3 of them, and most people, myself included, play 3 upstart in Dark World. It really helps. But yeah, that's up to you if you feel like it's expensive. That's my personal preference. I think it's kind of expensive, but for a budget deck. But anyways, going on, Go-Go-Go-Go's. Go-Go-Go's are an XYZ spam deck, but they do it so well, especially since Mizuki went to 2 now because it combos well with Ghost, and it's just awesome. Reason why this is expensive is because I feel like you need to play 2 Ghosto Emeralds and 2 Lava Chains. If not, at least 2 Gusto Emeralds and 1 Lava Chain, or vice versa, 2 chains, 1 Gusto Emerald. But I feel like you need those, and those are pretty expensive XYZs. And you do need to play your other slew of rank 4s, and at least 2 rank 4s that take 3 monsters to make. So I feel like the extra deck gets expensive, and everything in the Go-Go deck is pretty inexpensive, except maybe some traps, because if I were you, you want to play not pretty trap heavy, but you want to play trap heavy, and a torrential and 2 mirror force, amongst other things, really helps this deck defend itself. And yeah, it's a good deck. Just it's not like it's not really that top tier. It's more of a fun deck to play. But if you're gonna play it, you need that extra deck. You can't go with only like 4 extra deck cards getting into Yu-Gi-Oh. You need the full extra deck. So that's why this is at what place it is. Monarchs. Monarchs are another good budget deck. Why is this here? Same reason as Go-Go-Go-Go is pretty much. All the cards in the deck are pretty inexpensive. They're not cheap by any means, but they're pretty inexpensive. Treeborn Frog is pretty inexpensive if you want to play that build. And then Enemy Controller, Soul Exchange, and all that. Those are pretty inexpensive. But Battle Fader has a little bit of money, and the Monarchs cost a little bit. Plus, if you want to go with some other ranks, not rank 6, but tributing like Jinzo and Dark Dust Spirit, I think that's its name. It gets but the extra deck, all the rank 6s in it, and maybe like 2 rank 1s are pretty cheap, but the rank 6s and then like the 2 rank 7s you'd play, Gaia the Thunder Charger to overlay, that gets kind of expensive. Even I think a lot of them were reprinted. It gets expensive to have in there. So that's why it's ranked the second to top. And the top one, and this is also one of the best ones, Dark Worlds and stuff are good too, I'm just saying, it's a pretty good one, is Chaos Dragon. Chaos Dragons are very budget. Depending on how you want to go about it, you can get like Solar Recharge for your Light Sworns in it, and that can make it a little bit more expensive, but it's still pretty budget if you buy all the individual cards offline. The reason why it's expensive is because your Sync plays and your XYZ plays, those are pretty expensive cards. You want Stardust, you want Black Rose, you want Scrap Dragon, you want Catastor, which got reprinted, HEC Plymouth, you want at least 1 rank 6, maybe 2, 1 rank 5, and then a rank 4 and whatever. And it can get expensive, and Black Rose and Stardust, they're both at least a $20 card still. I think you might be able to get Stardust on eBay for 15, but you add all that up, it makes it pretty expensive, plus the deck itself to buy, and I think that might be the top expensive deck in the list, in my personal opinion. But all these are good decks. All of them are, I'm pretty sure, are under 100, at least under 150, and that's budget. I mean, you can go buy a full Mermail deck with only like 3 or 4 cards in the extra deck come with it for like 250. So this I would put budget, all these decks. They're all really good. They all have their own strategies, and they have all their own defenses, and they all have their strengths and weaknesses. And yeah, so if you're getting into Yu-Gi-Oh! And you want a good deck to play, and you don't have much money to spend, pick one of these, pick the earliest tier if you don't have too much money, and if you have enough money to go higher. And there's other decks you can play too. These are just my top 10. So if you like the video, thumbs it up, subscribe, and I'll see you later, guys.